Hello, my name's Santa Tom Dobbins. I started being Santa Claus about 25 years ago when my church, Greenwood Baptist Church, asked me to be Santa Claus. And I said, sure, why not? I know all the children. I know whether they've done their verses or they've been good in church. Be easy. That first year, I remember I had what I now consider a cheap suit. It came with a wig, fake beard, vinyl belt, and vinyl boots. But that went great because I didn't know everybody, like I said, until one year a member brought their nephew. Nephew was a little older. He wanted to prove to his cousins that I'm not the real Santa Claus. Well, if you're Santa Claus, then what's my name? Parents, where are you? You know, I'm looking around. Nobody's paying attention to what's going on. So I'm trying to think. Finally, I came up with, well, I don't have my magic ring on. That's what allows me to know everybody's name, what list they're on, and whether they've been naughty and nice. But I know what list you're on. Went from there, I was doing that for years, and then UPS asked me if I'd be their Santa Claus for the aircraft maintenance picnic. Now that was really nice because it allowed my granddaughter, who happens to be in the audience, be my elf. But we arrived at the aircraft maintenance hangar in a 727 with antlers and a big red nose on it. And we'll go in, and there'd be between 2,000 to 3,000 children for the next 6 hours. That's where I learned to think on my feet, or is it seat? And that's where I learned to answer a lot of questions that I still get asked today. I want a pet cat, I want a pet dog. Well, you know, they scare my reindeer. You gotta be really, really nice in order to get one of them. And I gotta check with your mommy and daddy and make sure you're gonna take care of the pet properly. Then one day, the wife and I were eating at Mark's Feed Store on Dixie Highway. It was probably early November, and the evening manager walked up to me and said, "Are you a Santa Claus?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, we lost our Santa Claus because he moved to Florida." Nice gig if you can get it. And I said, "Yeah, I'll be interested." He said, "What do you charge?" I looked at the wife and I said, "Charge? I never got paid before. I didn't know you could make a living doing this." So from there, after that first job, I said to the wife, I said, "You know, there's a lot I don't know about being a professional Santa Claus." And we were discussing, you know, how do I find out? Well, that following November, we went to see my daughter down in South Carolina, and we got back to the hotel early, but across the street was a Cracker Barrel. So we said, let's kill some time, let's go over to the gift shop. And when I went in there, I'm looking at some stuff, and this gentleman walked up to me, and he said, "Are you a Santa Claus?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I am too." He happened to be a designer beard. And he told me he was down there to do his first parade. And so we started talking. We talked for a good half hour, 45 minutes. He told me things I never realized. There's schools, there's workshops, there's the internet. I mean, all kinds of things. That following spring, I went to my first school. I now have my master's in Santaology. There's things you learn in the school you don't even think about. How to pick up a child. It's like a forklift. Notice the fingers aren't touching anything. Better yet, let the parent put the child on the knee. Learn about, you better get insurance, guys. The most important thing they really taught is hygiene. Well, what kind of hygiene? Well, I'm not talking about taking baths and things like that. Child sitting on your lap. They look up. What do they see? Nose hairs. Trim them. In workshops and things, we also talk about special needs and how to handle them and deal with them. I'm proud to say this year I got certified as an autism-friendly business. Thank you. And speaking of that, I've seen a lot in my years as a professional Santa of the different special needs. I had one young man who suffered from autism. He was probably in his 20s, and I saw him looking at me. And he's watching me. So finally I waved him. He probably didn't get any close stood in the first row, and we talked. And I asked him what he wanted for Christmas. He said all he wanted for Christmas was his mother to have a good day. So I said, that's fine. That's what you want for your mother. What do you want? He said all he wanted was a letter from me and Rudolph. Needless to say, he got that year. Then I had an older gentleman, this was just last year. He was probably in his 60s, and he watched me probably for a good half hour. And finally he walked over to me when nobody was around, and he said, he made me feel good actually, because he said, you're the best Santa I've seen in a long time. He said, you're the Santa I remember as a child. He says, you care. He said, you listen to the child and you give him hope and love. He said, that's what I looked forward to when I was a child about Santa Claus. The state took me away from my parents because my mother put cigarettes out on me. Then the other one I had with special needs, it was blind. It was Lions Club Christmas party I was doing. 13-year-old's blind, comes running at me and jumps, and I had to catch him. That actually made the cover of Lions magazine that year. But the trust they have in Santa Claus, and they have the trust in Santa Claus because we try to listen to them and give them hope. And that's what being Santa Claus is really all about, and the season. It comes from here in the heart, and it's giving hope and love to the individual and the child. Thank you, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year.